Man, that flows really nicely. Wow. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies to make your life just a little bit easier, or for you to enjoy the craft just this much more. Now today it seems like we are going to be going to our favoriteest store ever here recently in the channel, and we are going back to Five Below because they are constantly coming out with new stuff that they are just dropping without telling us, and it's just like boom, there it is. So today I found dual tip oil markers. Like I don't even, what? So oil paint markers. I'm very interested in this, and if I can get a 24 count of paint markers that are actually really good for $5, then this is a steal. I am super excited about trying to figure out if these are actually worth it. So let's not wait. Come on, let's go check them out. All right, so as we are being spoiled with their new rebranding, it's the same thing, right? This green and white, got a little bit of a picture saying, hey, look, this is what you can do. I absolutely love it when they do this. Shows us some colors, a little bit of the strokes here that you can come up with. So it looks like we have a brush and a bullet tip on here, 24 colors, and it says these permanent markers can be used for paper, canvas, ceramic, and glass surfaces, wood, stone, plastic, and fabric. So I'm super excited to see what these are like, and I'm so happy that their security plastic is security tape is a lot easier to get through. Okay, there we go. 24 markers, dual tip oil markers. All right, there we go. So it is a triangular shape. It's a thinner marker. It's got a nice size to it. It's not too long. It's not too small. So those of you who have big hands, it's not going to be too small in your hand. And those of you who have normal size hands, it's not going to be too big. So I think this is a nice size for a marker. It, like I said, it is triangular, so it's supposed to help with the rolling, but as you can see, the round triangles without an extra stopper will just keep rolling. But it feels nice in your hand because it gives you a flat surface on the bottom, and then whether you are right or left-handed, it gives you a place to put your finger and rest on your other finger. So this design is always nice when companies do that, so I applaud that. It just, nothing special on it. It just says dual tip oil marker. It shows us that this is where the bullet is and this is where the brush. So the brush itself looks, nice. Seems like a firm brush, and I'm really interested in seeing how or what the paint looks like, because right now it just looks like a normal ink marker. So who knows? But you know how I feel about it not posting. I'm like, oh, come on. But it does have a nice snap, so you don't have to worry about your marker drying out. And then the bullet is actually a little bit shorter but fatter. So I think that's going to really help with the distribution of the oil paint. So that's interesting to see. This is definitely meant for more thicker lines than more precision thin lines. I'm sure you can get a lot smaller lines with it, clearly, but the design itself is for a thicker surface. So, all right, so let's see. All right, so we are going to use our standard, last page. Oh, we might even be able to use the chipboard then on the back, but standard Bristol board 300 series Bristol Smooth. All right, we're just gonna grab whichever one we have, and we'll go this way since we have a lot to do, or a lot of them. Oh, man, that flows really nicely. Wow. that, wow. Okay, so that just is a nice, even flow. This is definitely one of the ones where you can just go ahead and push a little bit on it to make sure that the color actually comes out. Now, I don't know if you guys can really see the effect that's happening right now, but this was fresher and this is drying, it's really starting to dry, and this is darker than this, so it's gonna dry lighter. Wow, it just works. It works like a regular alcohol-based marker. That's crazy. All right. Let's test this thing. So this should be nice and dry. First, we're gonna do. Oh wow, that brush looks even like you can get some real fine lines with that. But man, the ease in which you can just you can just make lines is crazy. That's so nice. All right. So typically, when you use any kind of oil, or not oil, but just paint pens, you should be able to go over it. No, see, it's so thin. Look at that. That's so weird. Right? Like, it doesn't even go over it. I mean, like, it doesn't cover it, is what I'm saying. Like, because normally, if it's a paint pen, it'll go right over it. That's so weird. So it blends like, and it blends literally like an alcohol marker. That's crazy. It's not at all what I was expecting from this marker. And it, look at that, just dries right on the page, just dries really quickly. It's like I don't really know what to say here. To be absolutely 100% honest, like I'm kind of taken aback because these are supposed to interact a little bit differently, right? Because they're oil, or at least they say it's oil. Here, let's see let's see. No, it even because it says it draws on different surfaces and stuff. It feels like a regular marker, right? But it goes on. It pretty much dries instantly. That's definitely not an oil trait either. These definitely just seem like these don't seem like oil markers at all. Like any type of paint marker. They're really fun, right? Like, because I'm able to put colors on me, right? So I'm a different surface and the colors go on, right? But as far as the paper goes, it's just like a regular marker. Like there's nothing that you would think, like if you've ever used oil paints or oil pastels or anything like that, you know that it kind of stays wet and you can manipulate it and all that kind of stuff. But this is just a regular marker. Because even when you go over something light like that, you can still see how it interacts, right? Like, so it's trying to blend. It's not trying to cover it, which is normally what an oil anything would try and do. So that's weird. Like that's all. Yeah, I'm like, this is weird. So the markers themselves are great. Like the ink flow is fantastic, right? The colors are great, nice and vibrant. You've got a nice I don't see the oil part of this. Like, very nice, super colors. They interact with each other, right? Ink flow's great. Start to finish. Right? Doesn't bead. Like, these are great markers. These are great little, oh, let's check the back. Okay, see, but it bleeds through. Like, these seem like alcohol markers because it's bleeding through. That's not oil. That's not the way oil would interact. That's so weird. Now, outside of the fact that it's called oil markers, they're really fun, right? See how it's gonna work on this chipboard. Oh wow! Like, I actually like it way more on the chipboard. Yeah, I definitely like these way more on the chipboard than I do anything else. Right, and of course it's on the chipboard, so everything is a lot darker than what you would normally get out of these markers. But see, it's drying. It's drying just like it's drying just like an alcohol marker. So I'm very confused as to what these actually are, because I can't say it enough. These are not acting like oil markers in any way, shape, or form. But with that said, they're really fun. They're really fun markers. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Five Below dual tip oil-based markers, and I think that the real big issue is the fact that they say they're oil markers. And they don't interact like oil. It bleeds through the paper like it is an alcohol marker. And it doesn't interact like any type of oil material that I've ever used before, ever. And, I'm able to put stuff on different surfaces, which is fine. But it's not oil. So if you are used to doing anything like oil paints or anything like that, you'll be just as confused as I was. It doesn't make sense. It's not oil. It doesn't say stay wet for you to manipulate later. It doesn't give you the same look. It's not an oil product. It's weird. But with that said, the markers themselves are actually fantastic, right? The brush is awesome. The bullet point is fantastic. Ink flow was top notch. Colors were great. Like, it's a good marker. It's a good marker, but it's not oil. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird. It's very weird. So for one, you should try them out and tell me if I'm going crazy. Like, if it's oil and I got a special batch, or I just don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I would love to hear your experience with these oil-based markers and see if you had the same experience that I did, because I'm still confused. But I think these would be great for like journaling, right? Because it's not normally, when you just make your lines, it's not going to bleed through or anything. Now, if you coat it like I did to try and get a nice blend, then yeah, it's going to bleed through the paper. But besides that, like, when I was just writing and stuff, it's really not that bad. But it definitely interacts as an alcohol marker. So Is it worth it? Absolutely. It's $5, 24 markers that are actually really good. Now, is it worth it for an oil marker? No, because I don't think it's an oil marker. But the marker themselves is absolutely worth it. You should definitely go check them out because they were a lot of fun, vibrant colors, and I think you can get a lot of cool stuff with it. So definitely go check them out. So that wraps up today's episode of Is It Worth It? I hope that you got some type of information that'll help you out in the future. If you have any suggestions for supplies, please go ahead and drop it in the comments below so that I can add it to the list. Now, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.